Yo, welcome back, guys. So, from our earlier video, I talked about the introduction of Redux. So now I want to go up and setting up our project using Redux. So to start this off, we need to install 3 packages, and that's Redux, or npm install Redux, react-redux. And I'm going to be using Sass for styling, so we need to install node Sass. Now I've already installed these packages, so just hit enter. The reason why we're installing react-redux, because it's the official Redux UI binding library for React. So what it does is it basically allows our React components to read data from our Redux store and also update data. Now, once we have those installed, we're going to go to our index file. We have all our nested components into app. Here, we're going to provide, let's import it first, the provider component that React Redux gives us. Right here. So we'll have to wrap this around our app component so provider can be at the highest part of our components. All of these React components have access to the Redux store now, and they only have access if they're wrapped around the connect function. So we'll go over the connect function in the next video. Basically what the connect function is it just gives our React components access to that store. So now what the provider component needs is our store. And so that's why the provider comes with a store prop. So for now, we're going to leave it blank. Now, before we go and set up our store, I want to start setting up our project. Let's create a folder called components. So what this project is basically one of those simple incrementing a number by clicking a button project. For this one, I'm using Minecraft as an example. That once we click mine, it'll increment the diamonds. So to start this up, I use a snippet, and I'll be using a functional component. So it'll be react arrow function export. So I'm going to start this up. Class name, wrapper. So here we're going to have the pickaxe. And this will have an on-click function, but we'll do that in a later video. So here we'll have kind of the same thing. Wrapper item. So this is where I have our diamond image. And here, this is where we're going to display the incrementing number. Now, since we don't have that number yet, because we're going to be storing that in the store, just leave a comment. All right, if I can spell. Okay, now that we have that, we can go and style it in our app.css. So here we're going to make the width 100%. Background. Just a random color I thought was cool. So if you aren't familiar with like Flexbox and CSS grids, just know that right now we're styling the Minecraft component and app. Here we'll be using grids. So basically we're just separating the axe and the diamond as two columns. So each one is sharing 50% of each side. And how to do that, we're going to use grid columns. I don't want them to be too close to each other, so we're going to use gap. 80 pixels, that's good enough. So for flex direction column, what we're doing is for the axe and the button, we're basically put them in a column like structure, so they're just sitting on top of each other. So that's why I'm doing that. And for this class, I am styling our number. Font size, I don't know, 23 pixels. Probably sounds good. So now we have basically our whole component styled, so we can check it out. So it's not going to work. You'll get an error. It'll throw an error because we don't have anything in our store. So to actually look at this, I'm going to remove provider for now, just to look at it. So if we go to npm start, so nothing is there. All right, because we didn't import the component. Okay. Let's import it. So it's great, it just auto imported. So if you guys are wondering about that, that's an extension. I think it's called Path Telesense. It just auto imports your component. So yeah, it's makes things a lot better. I messed up on the pickaxe. Okay. Image. Now this is where the number is going to be. So now that we have our component set up, now I want to set up our folder structure for Redux. So what that is going to look like, there's different patterns you can do, but the one that I like is in the source, we're going to create a folder called store, and we're going to create an index file. So this is where we're going to create the store. Also, now what I'm doing here is I'm going to explain it in the next videos. We're going to have, so here I'm going to have root reducer. I'm going to spell. This is where we're going to pass in all our reducers. then I'm going to create a folder called diamonds. Diamond. So this is where we're going to hold all our actions. So for diamond, I'm going to be putting actions, reducers, and in the next coming video we're going to start with actions, and I'll explain this. Then we're going to do action types. So all this, it's good to have it organized like this. So all these actions, reducer, and the diamond folder, all that logic is going to be based around handling the diamond. So it makes things more organized when your application gets really big. So now I have that set up. Go back to the index. I'm just going to bring this back real quick. For the store prop, just bring it back. So this is where we're going to create our store. So that's going to be on the index file right here. So we're just going to have to export this and then import this here. And then our components inside will have access to that if they're wrapped around the connect function. So in the next video, I'm going to go over actions, action types, and we haven't talked about this yet, but action creators. And I'm going to go over all of that in the next video. So I'll see you guys later.